Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Today I want to talk about an Easter egg in yesterday's video that many of you recognized, and I'm very happy that you did. When I was talking about that guy who made a beautiful open source project that doesn't show up in the first 10 pages of Google, but the scam version of his project shows up on Google, I was talking about how the Google algorithm has changed and how they just have fundamentally no idea how to tell what is real and what is a scam. I talked about my own issues with my own website where I've been in business for almost 18 years now, and I was not on the first 10 to 20 pages of Google for most of the services that I offer. And I had hired different programmers, that I rewrote my website entirely, had other people rewrite my website in their words, and nothing worked. And then just asking Gemini, what should my website look like if I want to rank on Google? Control C, Control V, and boom, was in the top 6 rankings almost immediately. And number 1 after a short period of time. Now, in yesterday's video, I searched for hard drive data recovery just to demonstrate the results. And as you know, if you use Google now, for the last year, they've been shoving Gemini and AI bullshit down your throat. And that first section of the page has the Gemini AI generated crap. And one of the things that they're doing is they're actually grabbing information from other websites. And there's ways that you can write your website. So you're kind of feeding it directly there. So you're letting it know this is a great thing to have for the AI auto description. And I was, of course, number 1 for that because I asked Gemini, how do I be number 1 for that? It just told me how. And one of the things that many of you noticed is that when I showed up number 1 and when I was showing up in the Gemini results, right next to the Gemini AI results where my website was showing up, you could see me pointing at the camera with a picture and it said marketing bullshit in all capital, big red or green letters that were very obvious. And many of you asked, is that random or did that happen on purpose? And yes, that was on purpose. If I'm going to have my individuality reamed out of me by way of having to redo how I present myself in my entire business so that I can stay in business, I'm going to find every way that I can to troll the shit out of it as I go. And that was my way of doing that. My website was always a website, if you date back to 2010, it said proud to not be authorized, proud to not be Apple certified. I wrote my site like me. And the fact that I'm not able to do that anymore, and the fact that when I do that, in any way, shape, or form, I get penalized and taken off Google. And when I just have Gemini write it the way I want, that works. I'm ashamed of my decision. I'm ashamed that I chose that, even though I made that decision because I'd rather do that than fire all my employees and sell my website for $5,000 and say, I give up, I'm done. But I'm going to try to inject a little bit of individuality in there and protest every way that I can. And I think getting it to the point where I rank number 1, but for all the things they say, me having an image next to it that says marketing bullshit right next to Google's AI results just shows how ridiculous all of this is. And the funny part of that is that the whole point of that result is supposed to be showing you something relevant based on what people have written, but it's actually not. That page was written by Gemini, so it's an AI generated page. And then the AI is looking for something that's authoritative, and then it's looking for the thing that it wrote. Now, AI can make mistakes. It's one thing when you're training AI on humans, but it's another when the AI starts training itself on its own written bullshit. And that's going to be very interesting. But I thought it was great that when I was showing up on Google number 1, that the number 1 result that showed up was next to a picture of me saying marketing bullshit. That was 100% intentional. And thank you for catching the Easter egg. I think something really that would be really cool going forward. This is something that I've tried to turn into a little bit of a trend. Sometimes I'll scroll in the comments of my videos and all the way down, 0 upvotes. It'll be, really? This is why DDR5 is $1,200? Sad. And I've started to leave that comment elsewhere. When somebody sends me some auto-generated spam email, I'll write the same thing. It'll say, wow, this is why DDR5 is $1,200. Sad. Somebody made a video about me that was kind of adversarial, and in the description was very obviously AI generated, totally AI generated. So before I wrote my response, first thing I said is, this is why DDR5 is $1,200? Sad. It would be cool to start seeing this comment more often because you're not just talking about the front end, you're also talking about the back end. You're not just talking about the stupid thing that AI did, you're also talking about the negative effect that it has in society, when rather than just be something that people use every now and then, it's something that's overused and shoved where it doesn't belong. I hope to see that in the comments more often. Be a nice little way to create a little counterculture that doesn't say AI is ridiculous, but the overuse of it in these stupid ways is not just stupid in the way that you've used it, it's also stupid in terms of the effects that it has on the overall society. Thank you for noticing the Easter egg. I'm going to be throwing a lot more of them in there. I'm not a person who very easily gives up their individuality, and I thought it was really cool that many of you noticed. See you in the next video. Bye now.